Come on, Fitzy.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Crypto Warehouse. My name is Mike. Today is the 27th of June. It's 11 o'clock Central European time. I hope you are all doing incredibly well. Good morning to Mags, Hidden Agendas, Velvet Rope, Diablisky, or should I say Chris, sorry. Say hello if you are in chat and let me know how you are doing. So before we begin, I just wanted to have a chat with you. Again, very similar to the chat that we had on Monday or Tuesday. This is the time of the market where they are trying to get rid of you. They want you out. I've said it before and I'll say it again. They are trying to shake people out. By the end of next month, we are going to have an Ethereum ETF. We are going to have the Solana ETF applications going in. We are going to have interest rates coming down around the world, Europe, UK, America especially. Why do you think the market is so drab at this moment in time? We are not moving anywhere. We've gone below 58. We can't get above 62. They're trying to kill the motivation that you have to stay in the market. So if you are listening to this and you are new to crypto and you've never been in crypto before and you think this is boring because you thought you would have 10x your money, just hang on. This is what they do every single bull run. Every single time the market moves, we see this kind of boring sideways action. We've been coming down from 73, 74,000 now since when? April? That's what happens. So before we begin, just stick the course. We know the majority of people have given up and their motivation has gone. How do we know that? Because we can see the people watching the streams. We can see our metrics across all the different platforms we stream on. We know that most people have now given up on the markets. That's the problem. Don't give up now. You are so close. July, August, end of this year will be better than it is now. And of course, by next September, October, November, that is going to be peak bull run. So what we're going to go through today is we're going to try and cover off as much of the positive news as we can. We are going to look at Bitcoin, we'll look at Bitcoin dominance, we're going to look at Base, we're going to look at some tokens that people are suggesting that you shouldn't buy in July, which I think is ridiculous. Hacker on Cardano didn't get what he thought. We're going to go through the Indian budget and what that means for crypto. We're going to look at runes, which was requested by, I believe, Reza yesterday, asked about runes and what I thought about them. We're going to look at Mark Cuban getting rid of his NFTs. And of course, we have the X-Files and lots of other things. Good morning to Drop Dead, who has just popped into chat. I hope you are well. But before we do any of that, it is customary, as you all know, to go and look at the charts. Now, there are two levels for liquidations. There was 60,800 and I believe 62,100 or something like that. And we've gone to the 60,800 mark. It is not unsurprising. There are sharks circling, looking for liquidations. I am trying to find a chart that isn't going to cost me the earth to show you. There is a very simple liquidation chart with shorts to the right and longs to the left, and where they're going to get liquidated. I can't find a good one at the minute because the majority of them are $100 a month, but I will get hold of one so I can start showing you what is going on. Bitcoin is coming in then at 60,800, Ethereum just under $3,400. The market itself is still at 2.25 trillion. When we started on a lot of these platforms just over a year ago, we were under a $1 trillion market cap. We've come a long way. Volume is negligible, 56 billion is nowhere. Bitcoin and Ethereum still coming in at roughly 72% dominance. Not really a lot to talk about, but that's what happens in these types of markets. Casper is up. Why is Casper up? For those of you that don't know, I haven't included it in the stream. Casper is starting to be mined by some of the miners. We have a chart showing you what's happened with Bitcoin difficulty. Some of them have started mining Casper. Injective is up a touch. Maker is up. Ethereum name service is up. Flare and Aave. So a few gainers and a few losers. Singularity, Fetch and Oceans are merging on the 1st of July, which is what? 4 days from now? That's big news in the market. That's going to cause, hopefully that's going to be timed with the Ethereum ETF going live, but that's going to cause some bullish news, especially in AI. Celestia is down. Remember when Celestia was at $20? It really has fallen away. And I did say at the time, I wonder if this is airdrop mania. Are people buying and staking Celestia to farm the airdrops? And that appears to have been the case. Ondo is down, an absolute steal at $1.16. If you want to get into RWA, buy Ondo and do it today. I very rarely say things like that. I bought my Ondo at $1.19 over the weekend. I don't care whether I buy it at $1.50, $1.20, $1. Ondo for me is going to be a massive coin in the bull run. Yes, I hold it. No, that is not sponsored. I paid for it. Pi this down a touch. Floki, again, not really too much to write home about. So let's get into some X-Files. Remember, if you type in chat, it helps the algorithm. It tells people that we are here. So those of you in chat, say hello to me. Also, don't forget the question of the day. Ethereum ETF live on July the 4th. 83% have said yes so far, and 17% have said no. Diablisky, not the best time. Yeah, I know. Right then, US regulators could approve the spot Ethereum ETFs for launch by July the 4th, sources say, and that is from Reuters. Now, I have been saying, ever since the Ethereum ETF was approved, which was way back, I have been saying that this was going to go live on July the 4th, and hardly anybody agreed with me. Why did I say July the 4th? Biden is all about symbolic dates. The withdrawal from certain countries was timed to be the anniversary of some events. Other things that have gone on at the White House have been timed to correlate to certain events. That's what he is about. There's other things which I'm not going to mention, also timed to events. July the 4th is Independence Day in America. That is why he is going to time it for July the 4th, because then when he appears on national television, when he's going up against Trump, he will be able to spin some yarn about how the Ethereum ETF has gone live on the Independence Day because he wants to give the American public independence. That is why it is July the 4th. I have been saying July the 4th for at least the last 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks. I don't know it for a fact, but that's my bet. Now then, this is as true as anything you've ever seen. El Salvador is buying 1 Bitcoin every day. Germany seized 50,000 Bitcoin and is selling every day for euros, which I can print from thin air. Think about the logic. Germany can't print euros, of course the European Central Bank is, but you get the point. They debase their own currency. So what they are doing is selling an appreciating asset for an asset that they can debase on a regular basis. Bitcoin liquidation map, this is what I was trying to bring up. There were 2 prices I told you about, 60,800 and 62,400. I got this last night. As you can see, this was yesterday, in fact. Again, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to realize what they're going to do. They are going to liquidate you. I would have a bet that we are going to hit 62,400 at some point. That would be my guess. We've liquidated at 60,800. That's the price we're at now. Think about it that way. And just as we start streaming, somebody starts to drill. Unbelievable. Right, let's move on. Now then, we're not going to mention names. However, this flight, which was $520,000, was announced by Watcher Guru. This is why crypto, and it's nothing to do with the flight or anything like that. It's to do with the fact that it was paid for with Bitcoin. What we can do, because it's on a public blockchain, is we have very clever people on the internet that can go and find out who made these payments. Everybody thought it was Andrew Tate that had made the payment. It was, in fact, Jack Dorsey. And we know because we can see the transactions. Okay? That's the point I'm making here. Not about him being sent off to on a private jet. I don't care about that. What I care about is the fact that once we get onto the blockchain, we can see what is going on, and that is the important part. Moving on then. Now then, so why is this important? So for those of you that don't know, Michael Wagner is the CEO of Star Atlas. Star Atlas is going to be a AAA game. For those of you old enough to remember Elite from about 1984, Elite was a space trading game. Q 40 years later, and Wagner and his team have built Star Atlas, which is being released slowly but surely in phases over a period of time. What am I going on about? I'm going on about that Play Honeyland has a crafting recipe which is going to appear within the Star Atlas game. Why is that important? Because I've been calling for this for over a year. I have been saying for this to be a true metaverse, for this to work in gaming, you need to have additional projects tapping into Star Atlas. Star Atlas has to become more than a game. It has to be a metaverse where other projects can find a planet and build their own multiverse there. So I replied to Mr. Wagner and said, going straight into the X-Files tomorrow, as you can hear, 2 things for Star Atlas to own AA Gaming: interoperability with other projects, this is what they're doing, and NPC integration, AI NPC integration. To which he replied, both will be a reality. I, of course, have claimed this is a scoop. Why is this important? NVIDIA did a video 3, 4, 5, 6 months ago, I forget now, where the CEO interacted with an NPC and talked to them. And that NPC had a story and information, and it spoke to the individual. It heard the words and it replied, and it became a fully immersive, interactive conversation based on AI talking about the character it was portraying. If Star Atlas taps into AI and uses this on innumerable planets with innumerable species and innumerable storylines, this is going to become an epic game, and it won't be a fad that comes and goes. It'll be a game where you can disappear for 6 hours and go and play the game and live in another universe, because everything you talk to is interactive. The animals, the other spaceships, the characters that you meet. AI is the future of gaming, not the blockchain. However, the blockchain will be used to allow AI to interact on a mass scale. So huge news from Star Atlas there. Coffee time, absolutely. Coffee time, totally agree. I have my coffee here. Now this is the hash rate. So I mentioned Casper was starting to be farmed by some of the miners. Don't worry about this. This happens every 4 years. So the Bitcoin hash rate is down 10% from all-time highs that were at the end of April. What happened at the end of April? It was the halving. The halving is where the amount of Bitcoin that you are rewarded for mining is halved from 900 per day to 450 per day. What does that do? It halves the rewards. It halves the revenue that these miners generate. So if the mining rewards are halved, guess what? The cost doubles. Because the income is halved, the cost becomes twice as much of your expenses. So what happens after that? Well, the miners capitulate. The miners sell. What's happening now? The miners are selling. Guess what? The miners will run out of Bitcoin. Can you see where I'm going with this? When they run out of Bitcoin to sell, the sell pressure diminishes. Germany will run out of Bitcoin to sell. Japan with Mt. Gox will run out of Bitcoin to sell. 6 months, 12 months down the line from where we are, Bitcoin is going to have to be 50, 100, 150% higher than it is today. That's 100, 150, 200, $250,000. That's where we're going. And that's why I'm so insistent that you don't give up. You do not throw in the towel. This is not the time to worry. This is not the time to panic. This is not the time for you to think, I've had enough, I'm getting out, because you are selling just before the bull run. Now, I am going to show you a couple of charts very quickly before we get into the news. I don't know if I'm going to manage to get all this into an hour, but we'll give it a go. Bitcoin dominance. Now, Bitcoin dominance has to top out before we see the real run, if you like. Now, for some reason, this keeps switching, and I can only blame the Oracle for this, because the Oracle keeps changing my charts on me. So let me redraw that line. There we go. Okay, so this is the daily. There we go. So Bitcoin dominance. Let me just correct this. Bitcoin dominance has been doing this. We can go back to June last year. 12 months, ladies and gentlemen. Bitcoin dominance has been going up. In June last year, Bitcoin dominance was at 47%. It's now at 54.5%. So June last year, Bitcoin was less than 50% of the crypto market. Today, it's almost 55%. What is going to happen? Well, if you listen to somebody like Ben Cowen, if I just put that up here, Ben Cowen believes that we are going to get to, can I move that? There we go. Ben Cowen thinks we're going to get to 60%. Now, I am a mere mortal, okay? I am not Ben Cowen. I believe we are going to go somewhere around 56%. Why do I think that? Because Bitcoin now has more to deal with than it had 4 years ago. There's more stable coins. There are more coins in general. Those coins have risen. Some of them have risen more than Bitcoin. I think we will top out somewhere in this zone. 58%, 56.5%. I don't think we're going to get to that magical 60% mark. What is going to happen when Ethereum gets its ETF? $15 billion, which is the title of the show today, incoming. Potentially $15 billion is coming into the market, and a big chunk of that is going to go into Ethereum. That will cause this to break down. And it will cause it to break down for a time, not permanently, obviously, because Ethereum, I think, is going to be sold off. Look at what happened with Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. I've been thinking about that. We were all expecting to be at $100,000 and Grayscale sold everything. Could that happen this cycle with Ethereum? Yes. So the Grayscale Ethereum Trust may sell off what they've got. The Grayscale Solana Trust may sell off what they've got as well. We don't know. But whatever happens, I do think it will dent the Bitcoin dominance, and maybe we will start to come down. Maybe we'll go to 52. Maybe we will come down and retest one of these levels here. Maybe we'll come down and retest 51.3, and then eventually we will come back up, because that's what happens. The inflows are not a permanent, constant stream. They will be larger at the beginning, there will be a lull, and then they will pick up. That's what's going to happen with Bitcoin. People who thought 3% of all the treasuries and all the money in the world that was going to come into Bitcoin was going to happen in the first month, sadly mistaken. Bitcoin is going to gradually appreciate over time. Michael Saylor is buying, BlackRock is buying, all of the blue chips will start to buy, and it will start to appear in their treasuries. That will take years, not months. So that's what's likely to happen with Bitcoin dominance. It will possibly retrace a touch when that Ethereum ETF goes live, but I don't think that will be a long-term trend. I think it will be a few wicks down. Do you think Bitcoin has hit the bottom, or can we expect it to dip to 55 before an actual reversal? That is a good question, and that is what I was going to talk about right now. Okay, we have our line here at 58.4. We wicked down to 58.4. My next line down is 52,000. Okay, I don't have what the Oracle has. The Oracle has several different layers and levels. He has a 56,500 price. I think if that ETF is going live next week, and bearing in mind it is next week, if we're going live next week on the Ethereum ETF, do you think we're going to go lower on Bitcoin? Will people dump Bitcoin to buy Ethereum? That's a possible scenario, yes. So, do I think that potentially a lot of this is people selling Bitcoin for Ethereum? Possibly. We'll have a look at the Bitcoin Ethereum chart in a minute. I think we've bottomed. If there is a black swan event, then we could go back down and retest that 58.5. I just don't see it with the news that's coming out. So I think we've bottomed. The Oracle thinks we can go to 57, 58, but he thinks that the market is going to turn tomorrow, Friday. So if we do bottom, it is likely to be a wick and then a move up, because the Ethereum ETF is bullish news for Bitcoin. It just relights Bitcoin. Now, the problem I've got with Bitcoin, if you look here, we have the bull market support band, which is coming in at 61.3 and 64. Now, if you remember what I drew on the chart yesterday and the day before, 64,000 we have to break to get back up, to get back above the bull market support band. Getting trapped below 61.3 for too long is not a good sign, because as I say time and time again, it becomes resistance. And that's the problem. And we could be stuck for a little while down here. This bullish news, however, for me, is going to come out tonight. Maybe our friend Gensler wants to leave it to the 11th hour of the 11th day, and maybe he will not announce it until Friday at 10 p.m. because he knows the weekend is coming and traders have gone off. So maybe, but I'm expecting the news today or tomorrow. Van Eck was in the SEC office on Monday. It's now Thursday. The S1 has already been submitted. It's done. It's going to happen. That's going to cause us to move up, and I do genuinely think we will be at some point by Friday or Saturday, we are going to be in that range. So, can we do this? Absolutely, we can. I would, and this isn't financial advice, I would be looking over the next few days to put in some longs. Maybe a 5x. Go and get one of the 5L tokens or 3L tokens or whatever you can get. I would be looking to long Bitcoin on a very low leverage, because anything that you do 10x and above is you're going to get liquidated, because maybe we do that and you all get liquidated and then we do that. So I would wait for some confirmation. I think if we stick around 61.3 today, I think we're in a good position. Remember what Dan Cryptos was saying, 60,800 and 62.4, they're the liquidation levels for the longs and the shorts. We've just come down to 60,800. So where's the next level of liquidation? Up here. So they go after, they go hunting, they go to take you out. It's like Jaws, you're floating around on your dinghy and you're drinking your cocktails, and that shark can just see you just a sitting duck. That's what he goes after. So and the other side of that is, of course, we could today do that. That's a possibility. So it's dangerous. I'm not saying it's not. Nothing in this world is easy, but I don't think we're going to crash and capitulate at this moment in time. Now then, I did say I'd look at Bitcoin ETH, which I think we can look at this. No, that's not the right one. I can never find it. Bitcoin ETH. If I can't find it, we'll cover it tomorrow. Yeah, I can't remember the title for it. I've got it somewhere, but it doesn't matter. So let's move on very quickly. I don't know if we've actually got too much time to talk about this. It's 11:25. I haven't even really made a dent. So let's move on then. Remember, smash the like button, say hello. This is a two-way conversation. If you have questions like Drop Dead had, ask away. Remember, it's only my opinion. My opinion can be as wrong or as right as your opinion. Always listen to what other people have to say, but make your own educated guess. I was going to go and do a video on AI tech. I think I told you a few days ago. I haven't done it because they have some influencers involved in the project, and I don't want to be tarred with that brush, so I pulled the plug. The same way that I didn't cover some of the meme coins over the weekend. Hoctor, for example, is down 99%. Other meme coins have contacted me. I've given it a few days. They're down 95%. It's treacherous water at this moment in time. I have to be very careful. And at some point, I am going to get caught out, and I am going to review a pump and dump, and I am going to say it's a fine coin, and it is going to dump on me. I know that, but that's just one of the risks. Now, Base. Is Base taking over as the go-to blockchain with over 3.1 million daily transactions? Now, we have started to cover some Base projects, and we have been looking at Aero. Aero is a very good project. For those of you that don't know, it's the DEX over on Base, but also you can buy the token, which is called Aero. I think DEX is going to do incredibly well. If you look at the portfolio video, I've already talked about this yesterday. I think Dupe, I think Uniswap, I think Woo will do very well. I think Aero will do very well. Wolfswap is also on Base. Wolfswap I made an X video about 3 days ago. That's also a good project. They make money, and it's very easy. They make money on transactions. That's how they make money in the bull run, and the bear market for that matter. Look at projects and start to look at projects and how they generate wealth and how they generate money. And nobody's really talking about this, and it's important. Solana is fantastic. It doesn't make a lot of money compared to the likes of Bitcoin and Ethereum. It will make more money the more people come on board, admittedly. Look at some of these projects and say to yourself, what happens when the VC money runs out? Where do they go? So Base Blockchain is a layer 2 protocol, and it continues to expand and add more apps. The Q2 period was notably successful. The on-chain summer effect of Base is starting to give results. Recent research by Token Terminal shows that Base is successful both in reaching new users and retaining a loyal base. User inflows have grown since the start of 2024, and up to 25% of users are retained for more than a month. Daily transactions peaked in June, reaching a record above 3.1 million. Again, I am fairly bullish on Base, and a lot of people are saying things like, why use Base or why use Aero when you can go and use Uniswap? I don't think that's the point. I think the point is, if Uniswap came to Solana, I would still use Dupe. If Uniswap came to Cronos, I would still use Wolfswap. That's just how it is. You have a loyalty and an allegiance to some of these DEXs because they've been there. Also, Base has got some other good projects on there, some good. Brett, for example, is on Base. The traffic on Base is partially taken from apps formerly active on Ethereum, and it's scaling to layers. Base erased the advantage of other big L2s like Arbitrum, Optimism, and Polygon. Low fees drew in traders, causing Uniswap routers to become the most used app on Base. So, I would say, if you don't know anything about Base, I would say you go and have a look at it. Now, this is the next key for me. Development, seeing how active that blockchain is. Cardano's always up there in the top 5. That's why I'm bullish on Cardano. Solana is always up there as well. During a time when most tokens are stagnant, projects aim to boast their ability to draw in developers and build new features. Base currently draws in 32 core developers compared to 75 for Solana. Yet Solana's blockchain drew in big numbers, later losing most of the development activity. That is very true as well. Base aims to bring back talent and build real features. So, I think the key, and I said this a few days ago as well, the key for developers is get smart, build something on Base that can be easily portable to Arbitrum and Optimism, and then tap into the funding of all the layer 2s, Polygon especially as well, maybe some of the gaming L2s on Ethereum. Build one app that will work across chains. That's how it will work. That is how you can make money. And especially for Base, they need new dApps. They need new reasons to be there. It's all well and good having, meme coins. It's all well and good having a DEX. But where are the DeFi platforms? Where is the staking? Where are the games? What's going on? That's what you need to build out. If you build an amusement park, and the only thing you've got in that amusement park is a restaurant and a cash converter, it's not much of an amusement park, is it? You're going to walk in, you're going to look around, you're going to walk out, you might have something to eat, and then you'll leave. An amusement park is a good analogy for a layer 2, or in Solana's case, a layer 1. You walk into the amusement park, what can you do on Solana? Meme coins, staking, DeFi, games, competitions. It's all there. They have everything. Chronos, which is I'm very bullish on Chronos because it's a layer 2 on Ethereum, very much similar to this. It's fast, it's quick, and it never goes down. They need to have a fun fair. They need to have an amusement park that you will go to and get bedded into, and it needs to flourish more than it is. It needs utility. So Base doing this is exactly what all of these other layer 2s should be doing. And if I was a developer, I would be building out projects that will work across multiple chains, because that's where, if you've got a game that works on all layer 2s on Ethereum, and it works on Solana, and it works on Cardano, you're tapping into all the liquidity and all the users on all those chains. Isn't that what you want? That's what I would want. So 3 cryptocurrencies to avoid amid $130 million in token unlocks. Again, some of these titles are very, very misleading. And there is an influencer who I want to cover in a video, but I don't think I'm going to do it because I don't just want to go out and start causing bad blood. But the issue is, they tell you things to avoid, or they tell you things to buy and tell you that you're going to become a millionaire for buying these tokens. And I think that's disingenuous. And I think that they hold those tokens, or they are paid to say that. And I think that is wrong. Now, I have already read this article, and I've disagreed on every single point. So 3 cryptocurrencies to avoid in token unlocks, and we covered these on Monday. So we'll go through them. Here are the 3 unlocks: Optimism, Sui, and IO. Look at the unlock amount. Optimism and Sui, less than 3%. Negligible. IO has only just launched, so 7.9% is perfectly fine for a project that has just launched. Now, why is this article telling you to not buy these tokens? Investors should avoid trading Optimism because of a $55 million token unlock. It's a $2 billion project. So why are they telling you to avoid it based on this? These unlocks happen every month. The Sui unlock happens every month. So should you not buy these tokens based on this nonsense news? Arbitrum unlocked 74% of its circulating supply. That was different. That dropped the price dramatically. I get that. And that's what we try and highlight. But what I'm trying to explain here is these articles are not worth the pixels they are written on. And Vinicius Barbosa should not lead with this headline and then provide this information and then tell you not to buy these tokens. It's rubbish. This is rubbish advice, okay? The same way that somebody telling you to buy 8 meme coins to become a millionaire is also rubbish advice. Both of them, in their own separate ways, are either disingenuous or they are doing it for clickbait, and they're not doing it for your benefit. Sui, I don't care about that unlock at all. Optimism, I don't care about that unlock either. IO launched 2-3 weeks ago, maybe. So of course it's going to have a slightly different unlock. But look at IO's emissions over the next 5 years. Now is the time to buy IO and stake it. That's not financial advice, of course, because IO, the emissions in year 1 and year 2 are going to be very good. But by year 5 and year 6, the emissions are negligible because it's on a curve. And that curve is high at the beginning and very low at the end, very similar to Solana. You will see people moan about Solana and tell you that it's being printed into infinity, and it isn't. Or every single year, less and less Solana are being produced. So don't listen to advice like this. That's my opinion. Do your own research, of course. Optimism is still a solid layer 2. Sui is still potential, but could be a very solid project. There's big players behind it, big brains behind that. And I think they've got hundreds of millions of dollars of investment. So they will do exceptionally well. And IO is going to do well. So don't listen to this. It's misleading. It's absolutely misleading. It's peanuts. Again, I take umbrage with people like this that make these headlines, because it's like the headlines where they say Solana is going to go to $5,000. Ethereum is going to go to $35,000. XRP is going to go to $600. No, they're not. No, they're not, because the market cap's too high. Especially when you look at, Cardano and XRP, and when they're telling you it's going to go to $100. It's all nonsense. Now, the issue for Optimism and a lot of other projects is, since March, we have seen this huge downward decline. We've broken the bull market support band. We are coming down to the very bottom of this chain, and this is the danger zone, the kill zone as we call it. If you are bullish on Optimism, if you are bullish on the Ethereum ETFs, you should be packing your bags with Optimism and Arbitrum and Matic and all of the layer 2s. Maybe buy some Ethereum name service, maybe get some Lido, because when the Ethereum ETF goes live, and maybe moving into the future, you should look at these layer 2s, because they will run with Ethereum. Do I think Base will be the front runner in this bull market compared to all other chains? That's a good question. I don't think it will be a front runner. I think each bull run has a narrative. So if you go to the last bull run, what had a narrative in the last bull run? The metaverse. Those coins exploded. Gala exploded as well. Mana, they all ran. Okay. We had DeFi summer as well. This narrative for this bull run, I think, is going to be real world assets, RWAs. That's what I think the narrative will be. The second narrative, I think, is going to be AI, because it's mainstream. So look at what people see in their daily lives. They don't see crypto, but they see AI. So when it comes to the bull run, think of this. You've got an individual who's never opened an app, a crypto app in their life, and they open that app and they see Bitcoin and they see Ethereum and maybe Solana. They're the first 3 coins that are going to be bought. Then, once they've bought them and they start scrolling, what else do you think they're going to see? They'll see meme coins, because they've heard of meme coins. And maybe they've heard of Bonk or Pepe or Doge, and they buy them. And then they'll have heard of AI, and they'll go to the AI section and they'll see Near Protocol, never heard of it. They'll see Render, never heard of it. They'll see ASI, Artificial Superintelligence, and they'll go, I'm buying that. So I think the narratives right now for this next bull run are AI and real world assets. Real world assets, for me, those tokens should be completely detached from the bull run. Ondo should not be affected by the price of Bitcoin. Mantra shouldn't, when it goes live, will not be affected by the price of Bitcoin. So real world assets, AI, and then meme coins, I think they're the 3 things in this bull run. Now, derived from that, going back to the question about Base, layer 2s power everything that sits on Ethereum. Ethereum is taking more and more of a back seat as we move on, and it's the turtle that the elephants are standing on, if you know Terry Pratchett. And Ethereum is the turtle, and the layer 2s are the elephants that stand on the back of the turtle, and then all of the ecosystem sits on top of those turtles. So I expect all of the layer 2s on Ethereum to do exceptionally well. That includes Base, that includes Optimism, Arbitrum, also includes things like, is it IMX, which is the layer 2, the gaming layer 2. So I expect big things from layer 2s, and Base will be in there. And of course, the more people come to crypto, the more people use layer 2s, the more people use DEXs, and that's why I think DEX is going to do exceptionally well. So for me, Optimism is at, I mean, look at that. The last time it was this low was here, and what happened? We had a move up. So I expect this downward trend to break, I expect the price to come up. I don't think it's going to be 176 for the next 3 or 4 months. I think we're going to break out. In fact, what I should probably do is give you some targets. The first thing we need to do is get back up probably towards that price there, which is 250. Then we need to get back above the bull market support band, probably get back up towards $4 up there. They would be my 2 targets for optimism. Not now, not next week maybe, but in the coming months, I'd expect us to see a breakout. And yes, that 3% over time is going to make a dent in the price of the token, but that doesn't stop it from going back to $4 and $5 in this bull run. I think layer 2s are solid, and they will take all the heavy lifting off Ethereum, which is what we want. That's the entire point of them. Now, moving on very quickly. Good morning, Reza. You are just in time, I believe. We're going to go through a couple of things. We are running exceptionally late. I didn't realize at the time. We are running exceptionally late. So I'm going to keep this one quick because this is a funny story rather than anything. Cardano was attacked with a DDoS attack. A denial of service attack was carried out on Cardano. Then something really funny happened. And what happened was that the individual that attacked the Cardano blockchain was actually drained of their funds by the Cardano community, because that's how Cardano works. It's solid and it's strong. So the DDoS attack, this guy, I don't know, let's say he had 100,000 Cardano. He tried to denial of service attack Cardano, but the way Cardano is configured, you can tap into his transactions and you can then take fees from his transactions, and you ended up draining this individual. The DDoSer halted his attack after reading my tweet in an effort to protect his funds. They were too late, and the pillaging of their funds is already in progress. Thank you for the free money. Truly iconic that the attacker who presumably wanted to damage the ecosystem got drained. So Cardano and its followers just rounded on this hacker and basically took all of the hacker's money. So the hacker was hacked, and now they've updated a patch to stop it from happening. But the irony is, of course, that if this happened on other blockchains, it would be a bit more difficult to stop it from happening. So in the end, it's great news, isn't it? That's what we want to see. We want to see hackers being drained of their funds. Anyway, let's move very quickly on. Lucky you. Indeed, Reza. I had a speech at the beginning. I was basically saying, don't get faded out of the market right now. This is the wrong time to be feeling blue, in my opinion. This is the wrong time to be folding your cards. We can come an awful lot lower, but the Ethereum ETF, I think, is going to float the market. And I think if you look at where Cardano is, I mean, I was saying before, the red zone is the kill zone, and look where we are. We have touched it 3 times in the last few days. We're sitting above 36 cents at 38 cents. I mean, this is a great chance to buy Cardano. If I thought Cardano was good value at 50 cents, it's now good value at 38 cents. In the last bull run, Cardano was the last person to turn up at the party. I've said this before. It's like Charles turns up at 2 o'clock with a bottle of booze and starts dancing while everybody's asleep. Cardano is always late to the party, but when it arrives, it arrives. It's hit $3 in the previous bull run. I think we could quite easily see $3, $4, $5, $6 in this bull run. That's a 10x from here on a top 15, top 10 coin. I don't know where it is at the minute. We are, like every other coin, sitting below the bull market support band, and we have retraced all the way back to where we were at the beginning of November. So again, when you were here, you wanted to buy here. And now you're here, you are expecting it to go here. And that is just psychology. You want to buy there, and you want to buy there, and you want to buy there. And that up there, if this is a weekly chart, not a daily chart, that is where you want to sell. You want to sell out at the top, not capitulate at the bottom. The only people who need to capitulate right now are the miners, and they've been saving their Bitcoin for this. So don't panic about the prices of some of these coins right now. It's just what's going to happen. It's the calm before the storm. End of July, we will have an ETF. We may have interest rates cut. We will probably have a clearer indication of who's going to be standing in America for the election. It's all going to be slightly rosier than it is now. Now then, let's move on very quickly. Crypto industry awaits the Indian budget 2024 with renewed hope for tax relief. Now, India has a love-hate relationship with crypto. I remember a few years ago when we started streaming, we were talking about them banning crypto, unbanning crypto. The banks don't like them. The banks run everything in India. You know, it was just a mess. And then I think Modi, I apologize for the pronunciation, he has just become the prime minister or the president in India, the premier over there. And he is now starting to look at India in a different light. Remember, India should be an absolute powerhouse of a country. In the next 20 years, India should be one of the top economies in the world. And if you can't see that, I can't help you. They have been training their population as programmers, as accountants, as project managers. Matic has been flying. India is poised to do incredibly well out of blockchain technology, but it needs the right people in power and the right motivation to do it. So Ashish, I'm not going to try not to destroy these names, co-founder of Indian Crypto Exchange, believes that the tax rules introduced need changing. He said the current taxation framework for VDAs has led to unintended consequences even for the government and the exchequer. He explained that domestic crypto investors have taken their trading offshore platforms, which has made it tricky for governments to keep tabs on these transactions. I totally agree. There's lots of things which are illegal, which shouldn't be illegal, which aren't illegal in certain parts of the world, and it causes them to become. FTX is a perfect example. Look at FTX. FTX went to the Bahamas and wasn't audited and caused chaos. Had it been in a regulated environment, it may never have happened. Probably wouldn't have happened because the regulators would have had to see the books. The books were in Excel. They'd have had to have sorted it out. And the irony of FTX is, of course, that they had the money all along. This is the irony of FTX. They just didn't know where their money was. FTX should never have gone bust because there was never a hole, but that's a different story. India remains a major crypto market. Concluded its general elections in June. The ruling party under Modi has been in power since 2014. Modi is returning for a third term. He did not have an absolute majority this time around. Millionaires are migrating from India to UAE, but it's their loss. India continues to lose millionaires, especially to the UAE, according to the latest New World Wealth Report. It's interesting. If you look at where millionaires are migrating from and to, the UK has lost an awful lot. India has lost an awful lot. China has lost massively, and UAE is the destination because, of course, there's no income tax over there. So India the Indian government has not introduced a specific regulatory framework for crypto. The last major move was in 2022, which I think we covered, believe it or not. That was a 30% tax on crypto earnings and a 1% transaction fee, basically. So India needs to do this. For me, India needs to attract people to its shores, especially crypto people, and they're not going to win if they keep a 30% tax on crypto. America is already having conversations about making Bitcoin tax-free. So there will be no gains to pay on Bitcoin. Could you imagine? Could you imagine? Now then, so Reza, who I believe is still in chat, asked a question yesterday about what I thought about runes. And I didn't want to go off half-cocked and give him my reason why I'm not a fan. So I thought I would go and do some research. So what we have here is a very brief article from, I believe, this week. And also, for those of you that don't know about things like Magic Eden or OpenSea, they are places you can go and trade NFTs, runes, whatever else it might be. You have various different runes, inscriptions, runes, all the same kind of things. You have the prices. Magic Eden, again, this isn't sponsored. I don't have an affiliate link. It's not why I'm showing it you. I'm showing you the collection of runes. Now, I think this is garbage. That's my honest opinion. But we'll go through the article anyway. Can runes recover after the recent market correction? Here we go. So runes became the Bitcoin version of meme tokens, copying the model of starting at a low price and rising through social media hype. They have since fallen from their initial euphoria and are now facing a recovery or a slide to new lows. The runes market broke above $1 billion market cap during its first rally. Now the market is down to under 700 million for all runes issued. It may also be said that there is only one rune worth mentioning, Dog, which has a market cap above $600 million. Smaller runes were even more volatile, easily wiping out up to 30% of their value. And this is a similar kind of list to the one I'm showing you here, with the price action over a day. If we have a look at the price action over 30 days, you'll see some of them are down 80, 70, 60, 50%. But some, admittedly, are up. The Elon Musk coin, the BAMP of Nakamoto, there are some that are up. However, let's get back to this. Runes have already revealed a handful of clear winners, at least based on market capitalization. Yet even smaller runes also bounced within hours. Runes like Stupid Silly Cat recovered with 150% growth after their correction. So far, runes also behave similarly to the second generation of meme tokens. The launch team were not worried about trading near rock bottom for a long time. For those assets, Bonk was the same, so was Pepe. In the case of runes, time only helps visibility and hype. Now, my issue with a lot of these things is, in the bull run, are we going to see retail be able to get their hands on runes? Because retail is where the money's going to come in from. Now, my opinion is that I'm going to go and buy a mutant ape at the end of this bull run. Not because I can't afford a Bored Ape. I prefer the look of a mutant ape. And that's going to be my token NFT for this bull run. That's going to be it. Meme coins have to have mainstream adoption by the bull run. Everything needs mainstream adoption by the bull run. If I can log into my app on my phone and buy something in the bull run, then so can retail. Is retail going to be able to buy Bonk and Pepe and Doge? Yes. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana? Yes. Ondo, what else is going to do well in this bull run? Avalanche? Yes. What could else be in the headlines? Trump coin? Yes. All of these things are going to do well in the bull run because they will have retail adoption. How do runes get adoption? In the last bull run, you had Bored Ape, Mutant Ape, CryptoPunks. They all did incredibly well because you had Justin Bieber and you had Snoop Dogg and you had every Tom, Dick and Harry, which we're going to get onto Mark Cuban in a bit. They all went and bought Mutant Apes and Bored Apes, and it became a thang, as they call it in America. It was a thang, not a thing, a thang. Runes are never going to be a thing. They're not a thing. They are a niche within Bitcoin that doesn't have a route to market to retail. Retail is going to be where the money comes in. So that's the issue for me. Can they recover? Yes, they will. Everything floats on a rising tide. Bitcoin goes up, so will runes. However, that doesn't make them a viable investment, in my opinion. Can they go up 200%? Yes. 300%? Absolutely. 400%? Of course. Anything can go up by that value. But look at them. Look at them all. There's, I don't know how many there are. There's 100 on the first page. Why are you going to buy them? Why are you going to buy them? What's the point of buying ZZZZZ, Fehu, ZZZZZ? I wouldn't go anywhere near that. I am not saying, however, you shouldn't. I'm just saying I don't put any value in them. They're not easy. They're not easy for retail to get hold of, and for me, that's the reason I am out. You need to have. They need to be in the public spotlight, and they're not. And that's the long and short of it. And yes, they'll get traded between Bitcoin maxis and not Bitcoin maxis, but people who hold Bitcoin. Yes, they will get traded. Yes, they'll probably have good price pumps, but everything goes up. It's what I was saying. If Bitcoin is going to do a 300% pump and Bonk does a 300% pump, why are you buying Bonk? Buy Bitcoin. If Ethereum is going to go up, let's say Ethereum does a 6x from here and gets to $20,000, why are you buying anything of lesser inherent worth than Ethereum? Solana is the same. If we're going to say Solana is going to do a 7x in this bull run, why are you buying anything else? If you're looking for a 20, 30, 50, 100x gain, you need to pick things that can do that, and that's fine, but there is a higher risk associated with it. So for me, they are a really poorly marketed version of meme coins and NFTs. I would associate them more with NFTs than meme coins, because they're that much of a niche, but they're more of a niche than NFTs. So for that reason, I wouldn't go anywhere near them. And if I was you and I was looking to get into something like this, I would just stick to meme coins, and I would say, right, what's going to have the most retail access in this bull run? And for me, it's something like Bonk, because it's already got the deal with Revolut. It's already on most of those exchanges that we know about. It's already primed to do the next run up. At the end of this bull run and going into the next bear market, I expect we've got two major meme coins, haven't we? We've got SHIB and Doge. We've got two. Coming out of this bull run, we will potentially have 5. So think about what those 5 are. They're going to be Doge, they're going to be SHIB. And if I was a betting man, I would put my money on Dog with Hat, even though I can't stand it, but it's a cute dog, Pepe, and Bonk. They would be my 3 additional memes. And maybe they are the 5 memes that will hold a $10 billion market cap. And that's what I would be looking at. But even so, that's only a 5x for Bonk from here, and if you hold it through the bull run. So I'm just very dubious. I don't like them. I think they're a flash in the pan. Inscriptions are the same. Inscriptions were everywhere. They brought the entire crypto market to a halt. The Bitcoin exchange blockchain, to a halt, and then they just faded into the distance. So for me, it's a massive no. Good morning, Kabir. What else have we got in here? Modi got elected for the 3rd time as the prime. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he did. But they're very bullish on him, which I think is a good thing. I think a lot of people are saying that he's going to try and clear up a lot of the problems, which is what you want. Good morning, Kabir. Yes, smash the like. Indeed, smash the likes. I don't know how many likes we're on, but I don't think we're on that many. Right then, the last part of the day. We're at 12 o'clock already. Billionaire Mark Cuban abruptly